Hey, Jimbo, you got time? I got some stuff I want you to record for the next video.
Let me guess. Is it another boring video that goes on for an hour?
My videos aren't that long.
Oh, please. Even your short videos are absurdly long.
Look, man, with the way I format my content well, let's see you do a video if you think it's so easy.
You know what? I think I will. But if this is going to be my video, then I'm not calling it Shocking Shorts or whatever garbage name you picked.
Fine, you can pick a name, I guess.
Oh, I also have one other condition.
Which is.
Okay, people, I'm going to level with you. There's two things I like in a war machine. One, it's got to be a fat, ugly some bitch. Two, it's got to have meme weapons. So imagine my surprise when this mook runs this by my desk. Oh, it's perfect. A masterpiece. Have you ever seen such a carefully crafted dumpster fire? The nose, the wings, the thickness. It's outright hideous, and I love it. So if you're a cool cat, you're probably thinking, wow, I want to know more about that wacky airplane, and Jimbo's really hot and talented. Which, yes, I agree. And if you want to know more, then just wait a minute, Bozo, I'm getting to that. So it's 1947 in the Soviet Union. Things are good, relatively. But anyway, the Sturmovik, the Soviets loved it. But it's old now, so they want an upgrade. Basically what they asked for was an IL-10 but faster and with more firepower. Ilyushin being the geniuses that made the IL-2 and 10 in the first place, surely they would have the know-how to redefine their design and not build some Habsburg abomination. To Ilyushin's credit, they weren't half-assing this project. They wanted to give attack pilots a real game-changer. If you've ever played any game where you fly an airplane from the cockpit, you know it's pretty damn hard to see much of anything under your nose. And you also probably know that it's easiest to hit the target when you're close to it. But being close to the ground is... inconvenient. And the grand result of Ilyushin's efforts to build the perfect ground attack aircraft was the IL-20 Gorbach, an airplane that looks like a butt. Now, much like an ugly person, you'll notice that the majority of the problem is located right up front and center, in the face area. See, the cockpit here is actually located on top of the engine. Reason being, it lets the pilot see super far downwards, like 4 times what IL-2 pilots had. In a modest dive, the pilot can actually see stuff on the ground directly below the plane. As for the engine the pilot is sitting on top of, it's a 12-cylinder liquid-cooled M47 engine, which puts out 3,000 horsepower. That's 1,000 more than the P-47. It's also like 46 bush planes strapped together. That amount of beef is a must-have when you're hauling around 16,500 pounds of fat. A good quarter of that weight is the armor on the old girl. She's got plating for the pilot, gunner, engine, fuel, lube, and cooling systems. 6 to 15 millimeters worth. The cockpit glass itself is 60 millimeters thick in the quarter lights, and up to 100 millimeters thick on the front glass. As for the weapons, it had some interesting proposals. One idea was to have 2 23mm cannons in the wings and a 45mm on the center line, which got scrapped because they thought it'd be too difficult to aim. Wait, wasn't the whole point of putting the cockpit up there to help the You know what? Never mind. The design that made it to the prototype was 4 23mm that could pivot 23 degrees downwards so the pilot could do strafing runs while in level flight. There was another 23mm in the rear for the tail gunner, who didn't actually hold the gun. He used a remote controller. No, the turret was not radar assisted. The gunner was just eyeballing it. By the way, he wasn't just separated from his gun. He was also in a different compartment from the pilot, because in between them was the main fuel tank. And just in case an enemy fighter managed to slip under the turret's firing arc, the gunner could poop out 10 anti-aircraft grenades. As for a bomb load, it was alright. Could carry way more than the Sturmovik, but this thing is just so fat, it was never going to carry an impressive load. This thing was built to do 2 things, be highly survivable and highly accurate, which is probably why the Soviets canceled it. If there's anything that communists hate, it's when soldiers survive an engagement and weapons that hit what they're aiming for. They might say it's because the plane was difficult to maintain, high engine vibration, pilot concerns of being hit with the propeller, the fact it was 20 knots slower than the IL-10 it was meant to replace, and jet engines were just popular for all types of aircraft at this point. But that's all just silly propaganda. The truth is they were just too narrow-minded to see the genius behind the design. If they weren't so cowardly towards a revolutionary new design that was so finely and meticulously crafted, they'd have a weapon that would have shaken the world to its core. They couldn't see the power that was in their grasp, and so the world never got to see formations of dozens, if not hundreds of Gorbachs circling, diving and strafing, wreaking havoc to all and laying waste to the land. But I won't make that mistake. If war makes monsters of us all, then I will harness the monster that is the Gorbach, and with it I will reign over all. No one could match me. No one would dare oppose me. Never in 1,000 years could anyone match my height with the Gorbach as my stallion. The Gorbach is king, and a king is the agent of the divine. Yes, yes, I'd be a god. A god!
Okay, I think we've heard quite enough. I'm sorry you guys had to see that. That wasn't supposed to. I'll try to keep a closer eye on him in the future.